And I respect that. I don't just go, oh no, I'm going to hug you now. I'm going to dap you up. I will always go for a handshake. And sometimes they will say, oh no, not for me. And I respect it because I respect people's boundaries. I don't turn it into like I respect people's personal boundaries in the same exact way that I would respect someone who is saying like they have a sensory issue. Because I Show Speed was at the game alongside Thierry Henry and Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he refused to shake hands with a female sportscaster in an awkward moment.
Last night, President Trump held.
And everyone is, everyone has takes on it. Okay, here is wait, is this the Speed version? This is really funny. His reaction is so stupid.
Khabib, what's up, man? How you doing? We got Khabib. Could you beat me in a fight?
Anyway, yeah, so he refuses to shake hands with the female sportscaster. And the reason why he does that is because he is a devout Muslim. Some of you might not have noticed this when I go to some of you might not have noticed this when I go to pro-Palestinian rallies, right? Where sometimes some of the women at the pro-Palestinian rallies that are wearing a hijab will want to take photos with me, but when they take photos with me, they don't want to have physical contact. Okay? And while I personally don't have an issue with this at all, and I think it's, a little silly, okay? It's still something that you should respect, okay? It's good to be considerate. I think that's, I don't know if he's like disrespectful to her in general, but the idea that, by the way, this is like not what do you call it? This is not like across the board for all Muslims. Okay, this is not like a thing that all Muslims believe, for the record. In that case, though, they were not trying to initiate contact with you here. She was just trying to do a greeting that everybody else was engaging in. No, I know. I understand that. Most, like, this is not like a real thing, or this is not like a cultural practice or a religious practice across the board. Not to be a Reddit atheist, it comes across as extremely sexist. Like, how devout is this guy? Is he a virgin? Has he ever had alcohol before? No, yes. No, these motherfuckers are, no, they are. No, they are not. That's not, they are devout. They are, like, this would be akin to like a Orthodox Jewish person who is practicing across the board, like, and doesn't touch electronics on Saturday type shit. He's Dagestani and therefore kind of bigoted meathead. Remember when they look for Jewish people in the airport? I mean, yeah, there's that aspect of it for sure, but like they are very, very devout for sure. This shit dumb because Ninja refused to even play games with women and he just does that for the love of the game. Nobody cares about that. Yeah, I respect Ninja for that. Yeah, Haredi Jews do the same. I don't agree with it. I think I don't agree with the practice in and of itself, but it's not like he's saying like, why aren't you wearing a hijab in my presence? He's just saying like, out of respect for my cultural and religious practice, I don't initiate physical contact with women that isn't my wife. And I feel like if he was, I don't know, I feel like if he was a different religion and following a different religious practice, people would probably be a little bit more understanding of it. And I don't even think he was like trying to be rude.
Oh. How are you guys?
You okay?
Legends here.
How you doing? We got Khabib.
How are you, sir?
Nice to meet you. Welcome to the show.
Like he acknowledges, he says, oh, well, hi, like instead of...
Apologize. Thank you so much.
Look at Speed's face. Look at Speed's face when he doesn't shake her hand.
Welcome to the show. Apologize. Thank you so much. Khabib, the UFC fighter, it is a pleasure to have you. We didn't know you were here.
This guy, me,
Yeah,
you.
You're a big PSG fan.
Yes.
Always have been? Lifelong?
Honestly, since when I was a kid, I was Real Madrid fan.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not like he's like ignoring her. He's like talking. That specific aspect of the religious practice is silly. He was polite about it though. It's just a silly thing. Exactly. He's not like ignoring her. He's not saying like, no, I'm not going to talk to you or anything like that. He's basically saying like, oh, I don't establish physical contact with women that isn't my wife. That's it. Okay. I think people are making Republicans and conservatives are making a bigger deal out of it because it's Khabib doing it and because it's a Muslim man doing it. That's the other thing. Yeah. But if you are wondering, is he a real devout guy or is he just like simply misogynistic? No, he's a real devout dude. 100%. That's not even remotely a joke. Now, having said that, it's not like this degree of enforcement. This degree of enforcement is certainly regional or certainly up to the individual. Overall, the reason why I brought this up and the reason why I'm talking about like how how bigger of a deal people are making about it is because I just don't like it can be treated as a unique trait, a unique cultural norm, but because it's Khabib, because he's Muslim, because it's Khabib, people obviously are going to make a bigger deal out of it. And before people say, wouldn't you make fun of Mike Pence for the same things? Yes, I would. 100%. And I do. 100%. Do you want to know why? Because he didn't grow up in a fucking mountain, okay? Slapping rocks for the majority of his goddamn life. Michael Pence is a born-again Christian that grew up in fucking Idaho, okay? Don't you think that there's a little bit of a difference there in terms of like what kind of religious practice that he is choosing to apply? You're talking about a dude who's like wrestled bears in his most formative years. And it's not like it's not like this is the only part of the religious practice that he keeps up with and everything else he just like goes crazy over. Like he's not like drinking alcohol or eating pork or gambling. Like these are all of the other things that he also doesn't follow through on. Yeah. Also, not exactly the best takes across the board for a guy who, spent most of his adult life getting his head slammed. Like you're making a comparison. You're like set your expectations set your expectations and standards to whoever you are actually watching. Do you see what I mean? Like whenever people come in here and they show me like another fighter that is like super pro Trump, I'm like, yeah, dude, their job is to get bludgeoned in the face. No wonder after a long career, they end up believing right-wing shit. Look at John Fetterman, okay? One stroke, and as a goddamn senator, look at where John Fetterman is. Do you understand? Like, yeah, I think I have a lot more leeway when it comes to people who are professionally getting their head brutalized. Khabib didn't get hit. He was the one dealing CTE. I mean, I'm sure throughout his training, he has had his head slammed. Like, what are you talking about? Or at least choked out in a way where it cut off air circulation. Do you see what I'm saying? Nobirbek Yakuboev, an Uzbek grandmaster, refused to shake hands with Vaishali Ramesh Babu, an Indian grandmaster, before their game. Yakuboev later explained that his decision was based on his religious beliefs, specifically that he does not touch women outside his family. But, of course, one of my favorite things that I see quite frequently is conservatives hating the conservatism of other countries, okay? Because you got Fox News up in here. And there's a different reason for why they're doing this, of course. It's because Khabib is also super pro-Palestine, as many of these Muslim fighters are, talking about how insanely disrespectful it is. Bro, you're Fox News. What do you mean? You celebrate when Mike Pence does it, but then when it's like some random dude that grew up on a goddamn mountain, you're like, oh, how dare he? Like, what do you mean? You hate the conservatism of other countries, and you act like their conservatism is barbaric. Meanwhile, you're trying to do this in this country. I don't think they defend Mike Pence anymore. Okay, I'm just saying, like, well, they defend Michael Penis, okay, Mike Johnson, and his ridiculous, like, porn app shit that he uses. Baba, ihtiyacımız var mı bir şeye? Okay. 2. Eyvallah. Yok. There's also a star-studded award-winning movie about how Fox News is a cesspit of sexual harassment. Yeah, exactly. Remember, it's not just the guys. Some Muslim girls don't want to shake hands with straight guys is a normal thing. Yeah, no, that's why I started off the conversation by talking about like how you might have noticed that when I go to like some of the pro-Palestinian rallies, there are some organizers who are wearing hijabs. And some of the hijabi organizers don't mind taking photos and establishing physical contact with me, but others don't. And I respect that. I don't just go, oh, no, I'm going to hug you now. I'm going to dap you up. I will always go for a handshake. And sometimes they will say, oh, no, not for me. And I respect it because I respect people's boundaries. I don't turn it into like I respect people's personal boundaries in the same exact way that I would respect someone who is saying like they have a sensory issue. You know what I mean? If they have some other reason as to why they don't want to do it, you know? That's it. That's just the way I operate. And I think that's the way that you guys should operate as well. It's just like, don't be weird. Anyway, nah, bro, that's not right. You would like to have respect then? What? Hasan headshots? I think my attitude or my acceptance of like whatever religious practice that you want to abide by begins and ends at the moment of legislation. Okay? That is my red line. Like if someone wants to not establish physical contact with members of the opposite sex or whatever, fine. I think it's strange, but you know, do you. But the moment that you're like, this is supposed to be the law, that's when I'm like, nope, no. Okay? Absolutely not. That, I think, is unacceptable. Giving people the freedom to choose is the correct thing to do. Just started watching the streamers and somehow stumbled among Asmongold streams. And to be honest, the last 2 days has been nothing but underlying ignorance and hate towards Muslims. On top of that, there were 50K people watching and agreeing to him. As a Palestinian, it was very surprising and concerning how ignorant most people are. Welcome to the United States of America. Sorry, this is how it is. Forced handshakes for Muslims is a common Islamophobic practice in Europe. What? German citizenship denied for refusal to shake woman's hand. The man aced the German naturalization test, but refused to shake hands with a female official, handing over his citizenship. Despite claims he will not shake hands with men either, his citizenship has been rejected. Nice. Someone is saying this is how it is in Denmark too.